Hi, students. I'm going to go over your obstetrics assignment with the newborn. Just a couple of different things. Make sure, and you can replay this video as many times as you want to. But when we look here, we have the 080. When can you use this correctly? Again, the delivery has to be normal, no assistance, with or without episiotomy. So you can use that. You can't have forceps. It has to be spontaneous, cephalic, vaginal. We have these right here. Any antepartum condition, complication experienced during pregnancy must have been resolved before the time of delivery. Okay, in our first example, it's not resolved. So that is why we're going to put that as our principal diagnosis here in a minute. So no abnormalities of either labor or delivery, no postpartum complications, no other procedures besides what's listed. And then it doesn't matter. You can have twins, but if those twins does not allow for you to use the 080, okay, you can have those twins normal, one twin, and then 5 minutes later, the other twin. That does not constitute for a normal delivery. All right, let's dig right into this first one that you had. Okay, so we're 38 weeks. We've had been complicated by cervical shortening. And here we look like we have the short cervix, necessitates close monitoring and assistance during delivery. So this is going to be our principal diagnosis. This is what necessitated the patient to be admitted, to have the baby. This is not a normal delivery. Okay, so we do have full term, single live-born infant. Manual assisted delivery was performed. So we kind of go through here a couple of different things. We did do an episiotomy to prevent obstetric tear, but we did the incision. With that, it was noted that the perineal muscle soft tissues were abnormally rigid, so delivery of the fetal head. There was a second degree tear. Okay, this occurred in the extension of the episiotomy. So at that point, we had to go in and fix it, or the physician did. Do not forget to assign the outcome of delivery code. So with that, we want to code the cervical shortening. So if I pull this up here, keep in mind Z38.38 is the amount of weeks. We never ever have that principal diagnosis. So let's just go ahead. We're going to make sure it's O. Okay, so we have 026.873. Okay, this is cervical shortening, third trimester. Okay, so when we get down to the other one here, 026.899, that is just going to be more generic when we can get more specific. So keep that in mind. Um, whoops, code 899. Go ahead and go down here. With the 899, it's just other specified, third trimester. So again, with this, we want to go with the cervical shortening. Question 2, which additional? Okay, so with this one here, you're not going to use the S codes. Okay, we are in the OB section. We're going to use O codes. Okay, big difference here. Some of you did put the 070.9, but we want the 0.1 because it's second degree perineal laceration. If you put the 0.9, it's going to be unspecified perineal laceration, but we know it was second degree. That is why we have to go with the 0.1. Okay, so this one here is our outcome of delivery and how many weeks. Can't have one without the other. We need both. Okay, let's go ahead with right here. The root of the operation is delivery. I'm just looking for one word, just as it's stated. Didn't matter if it was a small d for the delivery. Okay, principal procedure is going to be, we know it's delivery. So let's go ahead to my procedures and just real quickly here. This is easy. Let's go delivery and we know it was manually assisted. So right there is our principal procedure code 10E0XZZ. That one's pretty easy to find out. Um, Again, manually assisted, and if you read through the report itself, it did state that manually assisted. Okay, so on that note, let's go to what additional principal or procedure codes we needed. Right down here, we needed two additional, one for the division and then one for the repair. Okay, so we did the episiotomy and then we did the repair. So that is why we do need both codes. Okay, operative report to newborn circumcision. So with this one, go down to the principal diagnosis. Remember the rules on babies. Okay, so if we're coding for this baby, we are going to code the Z38 is always principal diagnosis. Okay, so let's go like that. When isn't it principal diagnosis? Let's say the baby was born at a local hospital, and they had to take the baby off to a university hospital. Okay, so the university, the hospital will not code that Z38 code. The first local hospital is going to code it. The university is going to code whatever's wrong with the baby as principal diagnosis. So again, it's very important to remember this is our first principal diagnosis we will be using. Okay, and additional codes. So these are pretty basic to know. Everyone did fairly well on these. Okay, so the last question here, the circumcision. So if we just put in, once again, circumcision, which is resection, and right there's our code, 0VTTXZZ. Couple of different things. If you put a O instead of the V, and it got marked wrong, it is wrong. I'm really looking to make sure that students don't do that because that claim is going to get sent back. So keep that in mind. Really be conscious of before you hit that submit button or the save button. Um, Double check everything. You have time. Double check everything. So if anybody has any questions, please drop me anything in my inbox. If you need further explanation, I'd be happy to go through it with you.